Hey gang, today we're going to do a short lesson on using the Dorian mode instead of using the minor pentatonic over a progression that you may usually use the minor pentatonic. Okay, there's other things that you can do with this too, but Dorian mode fits pretty well. So that's number one. Number two is we're going to show you a couple of positions on what I was playing in the beginning. Were a couple of positions of the Dorian mode that are not the standard blues box positions. So that's kind of fun too. It'll give you a few different note choices that you don't usually have, allow your fingers to explore new positions and come up with maybe interesting new sounds. All right, so we're going to do this in just a second. Hey, if you like this, click the like button, and if you haven't yet, subscribe for a couple of these every week. We will see you in just a couple of seconds. Okay, gang, let's go over this Dorian mode jazz, shall we? All right, first things first, you'll probably want to download the tab from the link in the description below. It's going to make your life probably a little bit easier. There's not really too much to the tab, truth be told, because we're just really showing the Dorian mode in a couple of different positions. All right, so first of all, let's go over the chord progression. We're up here on the 5th fret. We're going to start out bass. It's a bit of a funky chord progression. Etc. Right, so we're playing an A7 and then C to D and then G back to A7. C, D, E, A7. Etc. All right, now if you're approaching this, and I certainly would approach it using let's say an A minor pentatonic, that would work just fine, and you can give it a listen here, right? There's a lot of good notes in that, and it'll sound good, no question about it. All right. And if you want to add maybe a little bit of spice to it, you could even use the A blues scale. And that would sound good too. But another approach or another option that you have is to use the Dorian mode. And here is let me see if I can point in the right direction. I always have a problem with that. Here's a rather old video that I did kind of explaining one of the reasons why the Dorian mode will work well. The A Dorian mode will work pretty well here. And also here's another one of my older videos which shows the sounds of the different modes, so you can pick up on what the sounds are. So the Dorian mode is going to work here, but what is the Dorian mode? All right, so many of you probably already know this. The Dorian mode is the second mode of the major scale. And so an A Dorian would be the second mode of G major. Okay, the first one being G Ionian, the second is A Dorian. So the notes of A Dorian are the same as the notes of the G major scale, but instead of going from G to G, we're going to go from A to A. Sounds kind of like this. Da, 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 da. All right. And I do have this tabbed out for you, so there's no need to memorize it, but let's go through it very slowly here, just so we have it. We're going to play it here in 5th position. I have my finger right here on the 6th string, 5th fret, and it'll be like so. And continuing up. And continuing to the top note in the position, and back. All right, so let's go down the scale from the top note on the position, which is the C on the 1st string, 8th fret. So that's the A Dorian in this 5th position. Now, for those of you with eagle eyes, you probably noticed, or maybe you noticed, two things. The first thing is that those notes share the same, all the notes of the A minor pentatonic scale are included. All these notes, this note, this note, this note, this note, this note, this note, and this note. And playing it in any position, those notes will be included. All right, so the Dorian actually contains the minor pentatonic, which is kind of interesting. So why would we bother with it? Well, it also has two extra notes. It also has additional notes. So besides the A minor pentatonic notes, it also has this note, which is a B, and it also has this note, which is an F sharp. So like so. So those notes can add different sorts of flavors to the solos that you play, and just gives it a neat sound. All right, so many people know that the Dorian out of that blues box. Let's play a couple here just to give you a couple of other patterns that you can use, and I'll give you a couple of ideas as well. So here's another Dorian version of the Dorian mode that we're going to do in the 9th position. So I'm playing this A note right here on the 5th string, 12th fret. So we're going to play that. This is also all tabbed up, so you can just look at it, but I'll name the notes this time. So I'm going to play 5th string, 12th fret, and then 4th string I'm going to play 9, 10, 12. 3rd string I'm going to play 9, 11, 12. 2nd string 10, 12, 13. And 1st string 10, 12. All right, here's the whole thing. Okay. Da, 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 da. Same sound. All right? And because you're playing something a little bit different, your fingers are going to find different notes and different patterns than they normally would. Okay, so not the blues box position that you're used to. Here's another one that's also very useful. You're going to play it in the 12th position. And this one comes to me because I think that sometimes it's helpful to think of A Dorian as G major, the same notes. And this scale really pops out for me for that one. But we're going to just play the Dorian mode. So again, we're going to play on the 5th string, that 12th fret, but now we're going to play it in 12th position. So like so. 12, 14, 15, and on the 4th string 12, 14, on the 3rd string 11, 12, 14, on the 2nd string 12, 13, 15, and on the 1st string 12, 14, 15. All right. And then finally, if you want to just hit that last A, you can play that up on the 17th, okay? So that gives you a 2-octave scale. So here it is right here, a little bit sped up. All right. So when you're playing with this Dorian mode, there's a couple of things that you can think of that I think are really helpful. I like to think about all the half-step bends. So if I think about any places where I'm playing adjacent notes, I know that those half-step bends are going to work well. So for example, you heard me, I think, in the intro solo playing things like this. And a lot of times you're doing that half-step bend, you're bending from a half-step below up to a note in a minor pentatonic. You know, so it sounds really good. Here's another one right here. Here's in this other position. All those sound really good. Another thing you can do is kind of bounce between positions, and you heard me play things like those are nice little things out of, you don't have to play the Dorian mode to do that, but I think it works well. That kind of stuff. All right, so anyway, I guess what I would say is, just put on that backing track and try playing these positions. And because they're different note combinations, different things are going to come to you than they normally would in the minor pentatonic. And just have at it. Have a lot of fun. Put it on a backing track and just play it around. Try staying in one position. Try staying in this position first. Maybe even just play those notes as you're playing it the first couple times, just to get them in your, burn it in your brain, and then you can start playing, and whatever you want to do. All right, gang. Well, there you go. Dorian mode gives you a little bit different sound. Gives you a few different note choices, and hopefully those positions were a little bit new to you as well, and you had a little fun. Okay, until next time, we'll see you on down the road. I gotta go answer that phone. See ya.